Alright, welcome everyone. Today we've got another playing card deck for you. This one is, it's a new deck for me. Yeah, so I opened this deck up, took a peek at it. I was too excited to do it on camera, so apologies. This is called the Last Fair Deal. Yeah, it's this off of here so we can see it. The front and the back both look like that. Right? It's a take on blues music, folk music, roots music, and the sides have got the pips. In the top and bottom, these lines look like they're from a big sheet of music. The finish is like a matte finish there. It's pretty nice. No raised embossing, metallic inks or anything like that. But the colors are pleasing, the inks they used. So let's take a look at these things, huh? Alright, we got two like advertising cards. One of them has a write-up based on Robert Johnson's quote, "It's the last fair deal gone down," unquote. So this is kind of a key card here, where it's got, it is different on either side. Yeah, but I say it's a key card because it tells us who these people are. Diamonds, this one says Diamonds. King is Sunhouse, Queen is Memphis Millie, Jack is Leadbelly. Spades, King is Robert Johnson, Queen is Sister Rosetta, Jack is Gus Cannon. Hearts, King is Skip James, Queen is Elizabeth Cotton, Jack is Papa Charlie Jackson. Clubs, King Big Bill Bronzy, Queen Odetta, Jack is Willie Dixon. Alright, so that's pretty neat. We'll talk about the design in a second. So here we've got the card backs, and they all look like a sheet of music. I was gonna say, I would think that he would want to put in the little G-clef thing, timestamp, or 4/4 time or whatever, but I guess maybe not, because if you're gonna play with these cards, you'd have to put it upside down here as well. Have it just plain sheet music. It's not bad. Let's see if we can do a spread here. What does that look like? How does that look? I think that's a fan, right? Alright, let's do like playing cards here. How's that look? Not bad, right? I like the concept of it. That keeps with the musical theme, obviously. What do we think of those? I like them. I like the font. It's an open font. It's not filled in. It gives a airy quality. I like that. So here's a card that's got all the pips. The diamond, spade, the heart, and the club. The diamond is pretty clear, but it looks like a diamond, not the traditional four-sided thing that are on regular cards, but like a diamond. It's in a diamond ring, right? Yeah, I like that. It looks like it's got a little shine to it, but the other ones have a shine to them as well, and it makes less sense with those. So then you've got the spade, which doesn't have much of a tail. I'm not sure if I love that one. It's okay, but it takes a second to figure out whether it's a heart or not. And then the heart, well, that's pretty clear. Looks like a heart. And then the club, that's the hardest one of all. I mean, it looks like an ear of corn or something. What is that icon supposed to be? Okay, so they're simple line weight. I mean, he completely changed them, which is that's fun, and I like that. And they're fairly clear. Except for the club, I think is a little challenging to figure out. But probably once you play with it a little bit, you'll remember that that's the club, and it won't be a problem. It won't be an issue. Changed up the colors, right? Because they're usually black and red. We talk about the layout, because here we've got diamonds, and they're not. They're one way, whereas they're all pointed the same direction. And also, this is a 4, right? So usually they're in quadrants. They're usually 1, 2, 3, 4. And then these two ones on the bottom would be upside down, so that if the card was on the table upside down, it would always look the same. These are the options that you decide. You can see them here and see if you think this works. Then maybe you want to use it in your own designs. They're all this sort of configuration where he doesn't have them flipped upside down. Actually, they're all kind of unique, right? Unique layouts. Breaking hard from the tradition. The bicycle tradition, anyway. Yep, the other ones are one way as well. Clubs. Here we've got hearts. One way. And you can see the configurations are not standard bicycle. I don't think that the configuration really matters if it's not standard bicycle. I don't think that's the important part, even if you're playing poker. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not thinking about how does it work for pinochle or Ukra or Baccarat or 21 or whatever. But you guys might be play some of those games and judge for yourself. Alright, so, yeah, see, these are confusing. Alright, so this is the spade. This is a spade. I had to turn it the correct way. There's the spade. It's a problem. So when it's upside down and there's nothing going the other direction, you could think maybe that's a heart. So yeah, there is a little bit of a problem there. But it's not so much with the configuration. It's with the pip, right? So the pip, if the pip was more clear that it was a spade, then this could work. This one-way setup. But if you wanted to keep it this way, then you might want to consider having it a two-way card, so that when it's flipped upside down, it's clear that which direction it's supposed to be facing, right? And then you could figure out, oh well, that's a spade because it's not supposed to be like that. That reads as a heart if you at a first glance. Granted, the color would be an indication because hearts are generally red, and you could argue that, but I don't know. I find it a little bit of a challenge for me for this one, and probably for the one that looks like corn to me. I'll just call it corn. The club. Alright, so if it was upside down, because it's a one-way card, and you're like, oh, what's this? What is that? Because now it really doesn't look like a club. Like that. It doesn't really look like anything, so that's why you have to, you pause at it. So, it depends on what you're doing the deck for. Absolutely. It's the point of it. You know, this is a little more of an art deck. It's a tribute deck. I think it's still very playable. It's a very playable deck, and he probably wants it to be a playable deck. And you should play with it. It's good. Once you get used to the way it looks, I don't think it would be a problem. But as far as like a gambling, you know, you want to be clear. And people betting money, you want to make sure that everything's clear. And I don't know that you probably wouldn't use it for Magic either, unless you're just paying attention to the numbers and not the symbols. So that's my opinion. I'm not going to name off all of their names. I really wish that he would have put the names like right up the side. You know, facing it, so you maybe had to turn the card like that to see the name. It would not impact the design, and if it used delicate little lines to do it, certainly it can be done, since this text on here is tiny. It'd be better because this is supposed to be a tribute and a remembrance to these players, these great folk blues players, and to have to go back to the key card to say, oh, who is this one? That's it's kind of a disappointment. But it's really I'm picking at it, right? These are fun. These are a lot of fun. This is a great. Let's talk about the layout here. The diamonds. Every one of them, I believe, the body of their guitars it's the same body. So they haven't broken up. You can see that, right? It's the same body either way. But the card can be flipped. But the center body that's the way they broke it up. That's a nice way of breaking up. I've seen a lot of cards that will break up the two, the flipped version here by having a line of some kind across the center here or diagonally. And depending on how they do it, sometimes it looks like they're just saving them the effort of blending the two bodies together like they do on the standard bicycle cards. But this was an elegant solution, and of course keeping with the theme with the guitars. Well, that's not a guitar, is it? But it's an instrument. I love that all the guitars are different. This one kind of similar on some of the other cards, but most of these other ones are very different from each other. Got your banjo in there. Got your jug. So here's another cool thing about these is that the placement of the pip is actually part of the artwork. It's placed right into it. Creating one shape, like you draw a line around the whole thing, and this is like there's one shape here. This is the first time I've seen it where they've incorporated the pip into the artwork. Notice that there's no background, there's no framing of it, so this whole thing becomes a shape. This one might be an error card, and this heart seems like it's backwards. Although the Q for the queen isn't backwards. The artwork looks like it's backwards. You can't play these, if they were in your hand. The queen and the heart's on the other side. It's like the whole thing should have been flipped the other way. But if it was truly backwards, then this would be also backwards. So where in the printing process this was an error, but it seems like an error to me. If I find out it's not an error, I'll put up some text on the screen. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of that. Yeah, these are very nice. You gotta like that style. It's very clean, a little cartoony, kind of like a caricature. They do have a lot of character. Jokers, which have liquor bottles on them, on both of them. 2 different size bottles. You know what? This is the first time I even noticed that they were 2 different size bottles. I thought they were the same. They're 2 different shaped bottles. That says the devil. I guess liquor's the devil. I'm not sure how that fits in. Theme-wise, with the blues, there was the whole story about the crossroads. Robert Johnson meeting the devil at the crossroads and, trading his soul for rock and roll, for the blues, for getting such great talent. But That's the only part I don't really care for. It's kind of funny, but I guess because these guys played at a lot of jute joints and where people are drinking, and that's, you know, goes against the church teachings, and a lot of this music was seen as against the church, not because it spoke out against the church, but it wasn't, any music should be in the service of, you know, the Lord. So any other music was not in service of the Lord. Didn't matter what they were talking about. That they were talking about the heart and soul of people, real life. Alright, let's not get all into that. Oh, we have one other thing that I don't think that we talked about, was that the Aces Spade, which one's the Spade? Where is it? Oh, there it is. You know, it's usually got the extra decorations, and in this case it doesn't. They are all similarly marked. Very unique with the placement. We talked about the placement. The ace, you'd think one character is going to be in the center. You know, it's not what he decided to do. He put it up in the corner, and it doesn't read the same. If it was on the table one way or another, it's not going to read the same. But it doesn't take away from a workable deck to play games. That's going to work. The last fair deal. Cool little deck. I like it. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Hope you got something out of this. Please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.